Today, I wanted to talk about self-confidence. In specific, I am going to be sharing 7 easy things that I did to become a more confident person. Not everyone is born with this built-in sense of confidence. Sometimes it can be hard to develop confidence due to reasons like you may have lost your confidence due to certain experiences, or you may suffer with a lower self-esteem. But there's a lot of things that you can do to build confidence. Some of them are going to be small little changes, and some of them are going to take a little bit longer to make them familiar. When I think of self-confidence and a confident person, I think of someone who is able to say what they believe is right, even if it is an unpopular opinion or goes against the grain. I think of someone who is willing to take those risks, are able to admit mistakes and learn from them, are able to take and receive compliments, be optimistic, and really just go head on in life and just trust yourself. And that is what I think really embodies a confident person, someone that is able to hold their head up high, know who they are, and they feel good about it. So with that being said, of course, before I jump into my tips, make sure you guys are subscribed. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday. And on that note, let's just get into the 7 things that I did to become a much more confident person. Number 1 is to practice self-care. So self-confidence and self-care are closely linked together. And a lot of the times we tend to overlook this or may think this is more of a shallow, superficial thing, but it really is important to take care of yourself physically and mentally and put that work in. So doing things like exercising regularly, sleeping well, and developing a healthy diet can really make you feel your best about yourself and make you feel just good in general. Taking time to assess your needs can really help you to understand what you need to make you feel your best. Practices also like mindfulness and gratitude can really help you to reduce stress, to help with emotion regulation, and also to help you improve your sleep. So it's important overall to figure out what is it that makes you feel your best and to put that into practice. And that can even be just getting all put together, putting on an outfit that makes you feel good, taking care of your skin, your hair, your nails, whatever the case may be. Even if it is more your outside look, of course, putting in your best foot is going to make you feel your best, feel the most confident. If you're just letting yourself go and you're not putting much time into yourself, that's when I know for sure I feel very blah and I just don't feel my best than when I put effort into myself and I really just take care of myself. And that does come with taking care of myself both physically and also mentally, of course. Number 2 is to build positive relationships. I really do believe in that quote of you are who you surround yourself with. Those who are negative and also just try to always bring you down, it's really going to drain your confidence. So it's important to be surrounded by people who appreciate you and are also positive, because that's going to lead you to feeling more confident and happy in general. So if you have those people that are super negative or they're always being pessimistic and they're not really bringing any value and making you feel not the best about yourself, it's important to distance from those people and just take some more space from them, or even just to cut them out completely. And I've done a few story times on my channel, which I will link my playlist down below. There's a ton of juicy little story times, and I've done a couple story times on toxic friendships. And one thing that I think about back when I was a teenager, actually in high school, there was this girl that I became friends with. We didn't have that long of a friendship because it was just really toxic, not good for me, and it was really bringing down my confidence. So at first I really liked her. I thought she seemed to be very confident in herself. She was more loud, outgoing. However, what ended up happening is she ended up constantly poking fun at me. I was always the butt of the joke, and she would make fun of me all the way from the pronunciation of my last name to my clothes to the way I am in general, just little traits about me, my looks. And at first I would laugh it off and think that she's just being funny and she's just joking around, but it became a daily thing that happened all the time, and everything that she was saying to me was just negative, and she just covered it up with it being always a joke. And it's one thing to joke around and poke fun. It's another thing if that's your whole entire friendship, is them just constantly nitpicking and poking fun at you, and it really just ends up making you feel not good about yourself. So I knew at that point I really needed to distance myself from this person because it just wasn't bringing joy to me. It was draining my self-confidence, and once that person left my life, I felt a lot better about myself, and I felt like there was a weight lifted, and I realized that surrounding myself with people that are positive and have a great outlook to life and are motivated, it just makes me feel more confident, more happy, and puts me in a more optimistic mood. Don't want to waste your energy on people that aren't bringing any value or joy to you and aren't helping to uplift you, because if you feel like friendships or relationships in general are making you feel bad about yourself and they're ruining your confidence, your self-esteem, it's important to really take a look at that and realize that it is okay to sometimes distance yourself from those people. Number 3 is to work on a growth mindset. So something that really helped me to become a lot more confident is changing my mindset. So when I think of mindsets, I think of 2 types of mindsets. There's the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A fixed mindset basically means that you believe that these basic qualities like intelligence and talents are simply fixed. You're either good at something or you're just not. It's kind of more that black and white, and you're just you think if you're not born that way, it's just out of the cards for you. And a growth mindset essentially means you thrive on challenges. You don't see failure as a way to describe yourself, but as a way of motivation. And it is just you believe in your ability to become better through hard work or also getting help from others. So I really changed my mindset the older I've gotten. I've really believe that if you put your mind to it and you try hard, that you can do anything you set your mind to. And of course, we're always going to have failure in life, and I've realized that it's okay to fall down once, twice, 3 times or more, but it's important to just get up and try again and see what you can do to help change that and get the goal or whatever you want to achieve. Typically, people with growth mindsets tend to have higher self-esteem and resilience. So that is definitely how I like to really live my life, is to know that you can achieve anything you want as long as you put your mind to it, your heart and soul. And even if you fail a few times in life, it is okay. It's a learning curve. It's a learning experience. It's going to help make you stronger, and you can always come back and try again. And that leads me to number 4, which is to challenge yourself. I feel like you really don't grow when you are constantly stuck in your comfort zone and you're just in your little safe bubble. I noticed how I was able to gain my confidence is by challenging myself and putting myself in sometimes not the most comfortable situations or situations that make you nervous, which is totally normal. If you challenge yourself, you will get nervous. You may feel a little bit uncomfortable, out of place, but once you finish that challenge or you complete that challenge, you will feel so much better in yourself. You will feel a lot more trust in yourself. You will develop those abilities. You're gonna lead to personal improvement, and you're just gonna feel a lot more confident in your abilities and who you are as a person. And just setting goals is a great way to help form new behaviors, new habits, and also will just give you that focus. So I really do like to put myself out of my comfort zone, and that's always the times I grow the most and I feel the most confident, and has allowed me to feel confident because I put myself in different challenges or situations that aren't always the most comfiest. And number 5 is to practice self-affirmations. You are never going to feel confident if you constantly have negative self-commentary in your mind, thinking that you're never good enough or you're just no good. You will never get that confidence. You really need to learn to become your best friend and cheer yourself on, and to get rid of that negative talk and be a lot more positive. And the way that you can really help with getting rid of that self-talk is by practicing self-affirmations. Telling yourself about your strengths and how confident you are can really reinforce those positive thoughts. And if you love yourself, your confidence will naturally boost. Because I know a lot of us definitely know that negative self-talk where you may look in the mirror and right away you see all your flaws, or you look at someone else's life and see how much you're accomplishing, and then you start talking negative about yourself and wondering why you're not there yet. It is completely natural, unfortunately. So many of us have dealt with that, and I know I definitely dealt with that, especially when I was younger, but I've realized that it's important to cheer yourself on, look at the positives, and just really change that self-talk, because the self-talk is the worst when you just always are making yourself feel like you're never good enough. Number 6 is to get a hobby. So it's important to find something that you are passionate about and really go for that. And even if you fall down, you really just give it your all and you get back up and try again. By picking up a hobby, this will give you a sense of accomplishment, especially when you progress in that hobby. And also will just give you something to feel good about. So something that really helped me early on in life was actually doing sports. I grew up doing so many sports. I was very athletic, and that really helped me so much. I feel like that was my first hobby. I really enjoyed playing sports. My biggest sport was gymnastics. I did competitive gymnastics for years. I also did martial arts for years. I started when I was 5. And my dad's a karate instructor, so that was really big in my life. And I just did so many other things like soccer. I'd play every year, and I would be in sports teams at school. I would do track, cross country, soccer. I even did volleyball a few years in school. Sports really helped me to gain my confidence at an early age and to learn a lot of things about myself and to know that I can push myself and I can accomplish things that I never thought I would accomplish. So when I was doing sports, especially competitive gymnastics, it was a really great confidence boost because I have accomplished so much in that sport and did things that I never thought I would be able to do, and I really surprised myself, and it just made me feel really good about myself. And going through things like competitions, which were the most nerve-wracking things for me. I was always so nervous going into competitions because I was all alone. All the judges are watching you, the audience is watching you, and you're all by yourself and you just don't want to screw up. Every time I finished a competition, I felt so amazing, even though I was nervous in the moment, going to competition and all that. So I really think just finding a hobby really helps you to gain confidence in who you are and learn who you are as well. Something I also loved as a hobby when I got older, when I reached 20, was YouTube. I've done YouTube now for 10 years, but I started it off as a passion and as a hobby. And a lot of people didn't understand it 10 years ago, but I did not let that affect me. I also had a really slow growth on YouTube. It took me a few years to really get traction and grow and make it to what it is today for me the last several years. But I did not let that stop me because, you know, things sometimes take time. Sometimes you won't do as well, and that is okay. But I always know that I will always give it my 100%. I really learned to not be a quitter, and even if it's hard in the moment, keep pushing and you'll get rewarded in the end. You'll feel more confident in who you are, and you know that you'll be able to get through anything you set your mind to. And the last tip, which is super important, is to stop comparing yourself to others. This can be a really difficult one, and I definitely learned this over the last few years because we are constantly comparing ourselves, whether it is people we know in real life, whether we're comparing ourselves to even celebrities or people on social media, or we just see other people out in public. I just feel like a lot of the times, unfortunately, we end up comparing ourselves, and this can be the thief of all joy. It's important to realize that you can only control one life, and that is your life. And your life is your own unique journey, and it really doesn't matter what other people are doing. And even though people may look like they have their life all together, you really don't know how people are behind closed doors. We're all dealing with our own journeys. We're all battling with different demons. Like, that is just reality, and things always look better than they really are most of the time. When you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you're wasting precious energy on other people's lives. And also, by constantly comparing yourself, you start to grow resentment. And you grow resentment to people that you may know or to other people in general. And you also grow resentment towards yourself. And that is not benefiting you at all. And you're not going to feel good about yourself if you are always talking down. So it kind of goes back also to changing the negative talk and to just really stop comparing yourself. And you could do this by really learning what your triggers are. So what makes you compare yourself? Is it when you're on social media? Is it when you're around certain people? You really need to figure out your triggers and to also realize that life isn't a competition. Everyone is on their own journeys. Everyone's going to have a different path to life, and it's not going to look like your path. And that is completely okay. And to learn to love and be grateful for the life that you actually have, because it's always easier to kind of see what you could have more or what you could fix. It's important to learn the importance of being grateful for what you do have now and look at what you have accomplished and the goals that you've already reached in your life. These are definitely things that changed my life when it came to confidence. I feel like when I was a lot younger, I unfortunately struggled with confidence in high school, especially because I was bullied. I did do a video on my bullying experience, but there was always a group of girls that really picked on me on a lot of aspects about me, specifically my appearance, and I really struggled with that for a lot of years because you start believing it and you start really thinking that you're not good enough. And I had to really unlearn that, and leaving high school especially really helped me a lot because it let me get away from that toxic environment that I really didn't like, and I was just miserable, and it made me learn who I am and discover myself again. If you guys want more like girl talks or like sit down talks on certain topics, let me know. I could totally chat away forever. And yeah, if you guys even want another video on self-confidence or whatever the case may be, let me know. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday. And on that note, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!